नमस्कारः। समारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य मणिः स्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् संदधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ हिरण्यवर्णां हरिणीं सुवर्णरजतस्रजां चन्द्रां हिरण्मयीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो महावह तां महावह जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं विन्देयं गामश्वं पुरुषानहम् अश्वपूर्वां रथमध्यां हस्तिनादप्रबोधिनीं श्रियं देवीमुपह्वये श्रीर्मार्देवी देवीर्जुषताम्. So we were looking at the meaning of this first rik here. I told you that there are different chandas in the Shri Sukta. The first three riks are in Anushtup Chandas, which has 32 matras. So here you can see Hiranya Varnam Harinim, that is 8. Suvarna Rajatasrajam, that is another 8. Like that you can see 4 padas of 8 matras are there. Here we are calling Agni as Jatavedaha. He Jatavedaha. Ma avaha, me avaha. So may you invite avaha. So here Jatavedaha means what? From whom all knowledge has come. One who is the source of all knowledge. So this Jatavedaha can mean Agni, or it can mean Mahavishnu or Maheshwara, Parameshwara. Even Agni is only by Lakshanaya. Agni represents the Parameshwara here. Because we say that Agni is the Mukha of all the Devatas. Like that, there is even a statement is there. In the Veda itself, there is a statement that Agnim Prathamam Devatanam Yajati Agnir Vai Devanam Mukham. So Agnir Vai Devanam Mukham, like that, there is a statement in Shankayana Brahmana. Means Agni is the face or mouth of all the Devatas. That is why we are invoking Agni and asking Agni to invite this Lakshmi Devata or Shri Devata. So why we say Agni is the mouth of all the Devatas? That is because all offerings we only give to Agni, correct? We put it in the fire. So that is why Agni also has the name Havya Vahana. So Havya Vahana means he is the one who carries all the havis or the offerings which we make into the fire to the different devatas. He also takes something in that. So in fact, Patra Vahana means postman, you can say, or a courier in Sanskritam. And Havya Vahana is the Agni. So Agni is the one through whom we offer everything to all the different devatas. So that is why here Agni is also the one who represents Parameshwara, because Parameshwara himself is nothing but samashti of all the devatas, correct? So Agni also becomes a representative of Ishvara here, and this Agni only we are calling upon. Hey Agni, invite for on behalf of me or for me. Okay, me avaha. Whom should Agni invite for us? Lakshmi, Hiranmayim, Chandram, all these things are there, different adjectives. So Hiranya Varnam, Harinim, Suvarna Rajatasrajam, Chandram, Hiranmayim, Lakshmi. All these words denote the same Devata. So Hiranya Varnam means what? Hiranyam iva Varnaha Yasyaha. So the one whose form and color is like gold. So she is shining like gold. That is the idea here. One who is bright, one who is shining, one who has a certain splendor like gold. And also Harini. Harini again can have different meanings here. Harini can mean color also. Harini can mean that one who has the yellow color or greenish yellow, we have to say. That can be one meaning. Or Harinim can be Harehe Patnim, one who is the Patni of Hari. There is even a shloka, Harinim tu Haref Patnim, Daridriya Paharinim, Prapadyeham Haridrabham, Harinakshim Hiranmayim. Like this, there is a stuti is there. Okay. So Harini means the wife of Hari. Harehe Patni. Means here, Patni means what? That Bhagavan was initially a brahmachari, then he married. It is not like that. Of course, in Puranas, the marriage of our Ishta Devatas are all presented, correct? We even have Radha Kalyanam and all we conduct. And even in every temple also, this Kalyana Utsava is there. Meenakshi Kalyanam, like that, that is also very famous. But the idea here is, Harehe Patni means what? She is the Shakti of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan, or Bhagavan here is the consciousness or Chaitanya Swarupa. By itself, it cannot do anything. So the Shakti of Bhagavan only is creating everything. The Srijana Shakti, we say. The creative power. This Shakti is the one which is manifesting this entire universe. We can also look at it in three ways, correct? Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Like that also, we can see this Shakti. So the Bhagavad Shakti only, we call it as Patni and all that, okay? In fact, the Shakti and the Shaktiman, they are one and the same. There is no difference between the two. The power and the wielder of that power, the one who has that power, they are not two different entities. There's only two ways of looking at it, but there is only one entity. That's why even Kalidasa says Vagartha viva sampriktau. So they are like the word and its meaning. Word has a power to denote something, correct? That is its meaning. So the power of the word is the meaning, really. There also that Shakti, Shaktiman comes. But the word and the meaning are not separate. Whenever we hear the word, the meaning also is there along with that. Otherwise, it's not a word, it's only a sound. Understand that. For it to be a word, it has to invoke a meaning in you, correct? Then only it becomes a word. So the word has the power to denote that meaning, and word and the meaning are not separate. They are one and the same. So Parameshwara and Ishwari, they are not separate. They are non-separate like Vag and its Artha, word and its meaning, Vag. So Vagartha viva sampriktau Vagartha pratipattaye Jagatah pitarau vande Parvati Parameshwarau. Parvati and Parameshwara, who are Jagatah pitarau. Pitarau is a very interesting Samskrita word. It is in dual, means Mata pitarau, but you can actually leave out the Mata or the one part of the Samasa and simply have it as pitarau also, but still it means Mata pitarau. They are the mother, they are the parents of this entire universe. Means again here, how are we saying father, mother and all that means? When we look at it as Upadana Karanam, it is always mother. When you look at it as the Nimitta Karana, so the material cause is mother. Even for us, my body itself is nothing but my mother's body only, correct? My body was formed as a part of my mother's body, and then only afterwards it separated out. Whatever my mother ate, that nourishment only has become this body. So mother is always the Upadana or the material cause, and father is the Nimitta Karanam, or the, you can say, the incidental or the intelligent cause. So like this, again there is only one entity. Even though we say Mata Pitarau, it is not two different things. For us it is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. The Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana are Abhinna, are not separate. They are all one and the same. So even though here also if we say Harehe Patnim, means don't think that there are two different entities. There is only one entity. It all depends on how we look at it. So Harini can be taken as Harehe Patni, or Harini can also mean deer. So even in Hindi and all, Harin, the word is still in use, I think. So it can be taken even as the one who is like a deer, or who has an eyes like the deer, or one who is like like a golden deer. If you take, even Ramayana comes into the picture. So this Lakshmi Devi is like that golden deer. If you know how to handle it, then well and good. Otherwise, what? It will become Maricha. It will become that, like that Rakshasa, correct? It becomes a problem. If you don't know how to handle wealth, also it is a problem. Anyway, so here, this Harini can mean all these different things. Then Suvarna Rajatasrajam. So one who is wearing this golden and silver pushpas. Okay. or mala. Srak means a mala. So one who is wearing a mala made up of gold and silver, or here we can even take it as Srajam means one who is adorned with, or one who has been, one who has the alankara of gold and silver. Like that also we can take, with gold and silver ornaments. Of course, Lakshmi Devi will be having all gold and silver, correct? Gold and silver represents Lakshmi even in our transactional world. They all represent Lakshmi. And here why we say gold and silver both, that is because normally in our Shastras, golden ornaments are worn all over the body, but on your legs, pada, normally gold is not recommended. In fact, there is even a verse for that, I think, but I don't remember that. In your pada, you wear only silver. This tradition is there amongst us. So the same thing here, you can say that she is wearing silver anklets and whatever in her pada, in her feet. But all other places, Sri Devi is wearing all golden ornaments. In fact, that is why in our tradition, gold is highly valued, because gold is the representative of Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi. In fact, all women are Lakshmi Swarupa only for us. That is why women also have to wear something, one piece of gold at least. Like that, there is a sentiment is there. And that gold is not just an ornament. Okay, so only for ornament's sake, nowadays people buy all these different jewelry, correct? It can be even like gold plated with some other metal underneath, or you have 14 karat gold and all that, which is popular in the West, I think. But in India, this 14 KT doesn't really sell. For us, gold means it has to be either 22 karat or 24 karat only, because gold itself represents Lakshmi for us. And we buy ornaments because it is a representative of Lakshmi. And when the lady of the house is wearing these golden ornaments, she is also a representative. She is a manifestation of Lakshmi. That is how we look upon it. That is why I think in our country, even now, only this 22 karat or 24 karat gold alone sells. And India is the largest consumer of gold in the world. In fact, they even say that if you take all the gold which is there, then really India is a very rich country. So much gold is there. Different governments are trying to somehow get all this gold and somehow monetize it, but I don't know, they are not very successful, I think. Gold also is a store of, it is a safe store of money, correct? In one way, always comes handy in a crisis and all that. So our Lakshmis in our house, our women, they are very frugal, but they will have gold always. They save and also buy gold. On some special days also we buy gold. Even otherwise we can buy gold anytime. So this gold is really a manifestation of Lakshmi for us. That is there in our life actually. Okay, further what? Chandram. So Chandra Prabhasam, yes, yeah. So one who shines like the moon. So moon Moon shine is very, very pleasant, correct? It brings a certain pleased self, we can say. You look at the full moon in the sky and it's very pleasing. That is why moon is the subject of all poetry, I think. In any language you take, moon is praised. Moon is used as a simile by all poets because moon itself gives a certain shanti, you can say. You look at the moon, it doesn't invoke an unpleasant view. In fact, you look at the moon, even though you may have a lot of problems and all that, you are released from all that. You just see the moon and it is very pleasing. So even the Chandra Darshana itself makes you happy. It removes, at least temporarily, the wanting me and invokes a pleased me. So this Lakshmi Devi also is like that. So in fact, she is the Devata who is appearing as moon, like that also we can take. Because moon, Soma Devata, again is talked about very much in the Shastra. Bhagavan also says, Nakshatranam aham Somaha. Okay, in the Vibhuti Yoga, okay, Bhagavan says that. And so, Nakshatra here means not really stars, but just heavenly bodies or self-luminous heavenly bodies are called Nakshatra. Of course, moon itself is not self-luminous, but luminous, we have to say. So this Nakshatranam aham Shashi, in fact, the verses, not Soma, sorry. So Bhagavan uses this word Shashi for moon in the 10th chapter of Gita. So amongst all the luminous bodies, heavenly bodies, I am the moon, because moon is the brightest and most pleasant in the sky. So it is a vibhuti, it is a glory, it is something very glorious. And any glory is nothing but Bhagavan. For us, any glory you see, it actually reminds us of Bhagavan, because all glories are only Bhagavat Vibhuti. Vibhuti itself means glory. Vibhuti is also what we wear, is also called Vibhuti, the ash. Why do we call this ash as Vibhuti? Means, see, you burn anything, what is left is only ash, correct? That means in the fire of knowledge, whatever object you put, all the names and forms are gone. What is left is Bhagavat Vibhuti, or glory of the Lord, which is nothing but the Chaitanya Swarupam for us. So that is why even this ash which we have, which we wear every day as Tripundram, whichever way you wear it, is also a glory. It only represents the glory of Bhagavan, because Bhagavan is the one who is always there, who is the invariable Chaitanya Swarupa in every cognition. Everything else is only name and form. So it is like if you have Jnana Chakshu, or the fire of Agni, through that if you make all these objects pass through, means what remains is the names and forms are gone. What remains is only Bhagavat Vibhuti. So anywhere we see a glory, it reminds us, or it should remind us of only Bhagavan or Bhagavati. So Chandra is also a glory in the sky. That's why Bhagavan says Nakshatranam aham Shashi, because in the Vibhuti Yoga, amongst all the stars and heavenly luminous bodies, I am the moon, like that Bhagavan says. So that's why here, moon itself is a manifestation of this Lakshmi Devi. And moon is also the devata for manas, correct? So we have an adhisthana devata for every organ which we have, every sense organ and every organ of action. We have an adhisthana devata or a devata who represents that phenomenon, because every organ is having some function which is itself is a phenomenon, correct? Eyes means it has sight. Wherever sight is, the adhisthana devata is Aditya. Similarly, vak, speech, organ of speech is a karmendriya. Wherever the faculty of speech is there as a phenomenon, there we say that Agni is the devata for speech. Like that, each and every organ has an adhisthana devata, and the adhisthana devata for the antakarana as a whole, for the mind as a whole, is Soma or moon. Moon is the one who affects the mind also, we say, correct? Even in modern psychology and psychiatry and all, we know that, or we have all known that even people get affected by the cycles of the moon. New moon day, full moon day, these days can affect somebody's mind. Definitely, the moon has a certain impact on one's mind. So moon is the devata. So that means Lakshmi Devi only is there as the Chandra devata in your mind also. She is the one who is impelling your mind. So this devata, we can look at it at Adhyatma, means one's own body, mind, sense complex. Devatas are there. That is called Adhyatma, with reference to one's own self. Then Adhibhuta, with reference to the surroundings, means the actual moon we see, correct? Moon as a satellite. That is the Adhibhautika. And the moon as a devata within that. Okay. That is Adi Daivika, with reference to the devatas. So the moon itself is moon Abhimani, we have to say. The devata is the Abhimani. Moon itself is the body for which devata. That is the Adi Daiva. So like this, moon can be looked upon at different levels. And moon is the devata for one's mind. Moon also is the devata for nourishment also, we say. All the Oshadhis are all, it is said in the Veda itself, in different places it is there, even in Bhagavad Gita, Pushna Michaushadhis Sarvaha Somo Bhutva Rasatmakaha. So Soma devata is Rasatmakaha, one who has this rasa or nourishment. And Pushnami cha Aushadhihi. Oshadhi and all means Oshadhibhyo Annam. Also it is there in the Taittiriya Upanishad. All food is from plants only for us. And moon devata is the one who nourishes the plants. That way also moon means here Chandra means one who is the nourisher, one who nourishes us as this devata. Also we can look at it like that. And Oshadhi is the Anna for us. Means all food is really plants. Only understand that. Because even those who eat animals, they feed the animals with plants and eat the animal. Because plants alone really produce food. They can do photosynthesis. Animals cannot do any photosynthesis. They eat other animals or plants. And plants are the only one who really produce food, which is then consumed by different animals in different manner. So that is why we say Oshadibhyaha Annam. Annam or food is really only from Oshadhi. And Chandra is the one who nourishes all these plants so that the food is available. Like this is looked upon. So Chandram, Hiranmayim, Lakshmi, Hiranmayi. So the Mayat Pratyaya has two meanings. Vikara and Prachurya, we say. Vikara means what? A modification. Okay, so Hiranmayi can be looked upon as Hiranya Vikara, also we can say, means one who is in the form of all this wealth, one who has become all this. Because Hiranyam means generally, even when we give any dakshina during a puja to a priest and all that, we say, correct, idam Hiranyam sadakshinakam saptambulam sampradate. So I give it to you. All this Hiranyam can mean many things: gold, different ratnas, any form of wealth also can be considered as Hiranya. So one who is in the form of all this Hiranya, we can look upon like that. Okay. Or we can also look upon as Prachurya Artha also is there. Mayat can come in the form. Prachurya means full of. Okay. Or majority or mainly having something like only a particular thing. For example, even the traditional example we give is Annamaya Yajna, means what? In this Yajna, they gave a lot of Annadana. Annam was the main thing. Food was distributed. That itself is the Yajna, main Yajna. So Annamaya Yajna, Prachuryartha also, you can say. So here, this one who is full of all this wealth. That way also you can look at. Or one who has modified herself in the form of wealth also you can say. Both meaning you can have. Okay, because there are Shruti Vakyas are there. Tat Suvarnam Abhavat. She became all this Suvarna. Means there Vikarartha you can say. Okay. So like this, one who is become in the form of this Hiranya, that way we can look at it, because she is also the Mula Prakriti, correct? So when if you talk about it as a Mayat, Vikarartha, when we look at this universe itself, we talk about two Karanas, two ways or two types of Karana again. What are they? One we say is Parinami Upadana Karana, means one which actually modifies and becomes whatever we see here as this world of different objects. And Vivarta Upadana also we say. Vivarta means one which is the cause of this entire world, but without itself changing its nature, it has become the Karana. We say Brahman or Parameshwara is Vivarta Upadana and Prakriti is the Parinami Upadana, like that. Like that we understand the world. So again, Parinami Upadana is nothing but Devi, Shakti, only is looked upon as Prakriti here. Maya Shakti is the one which modifies and becomes, or Trigunatmika Prakriti and all we say. The Prakriti is made up of three gunas. So that way also she is the one who has modified herself or appears as all these things. So Hiranmayim, all the wealth, she is the one who is appearing as all this wealth. In fact, that looks like a better meaning, goes along with Parinami Upadana Karana, or one who is full of wealth also you can take. Prachuryartha if you take. And then Lakshmi. So the word Lakshmi also is an interesting word. You can derive it in many ways. Okay. So Lakshmi means it can come from Lakshma. Okay. Lakshma means some kind of a chinha or a mark. So here, when we say Lakshmi, Lakshmavati is Lakshmi, like this we can take. Means she is the symbol for what? So there is a word is there. There is a book called Nirukta. Correct? Nirukta is one of the Veda Angas, in fact. Because the Nirukta, you can say, is the original thesaurus or like a dictionary, because it talks about the meaning of all the Vaidika words. Yaska is the Rishi who wrote the Nirukta. In the Nirukta also, Labhat Lakshmi, like that it is there. Means she is the symbol for gaining, obtaining. See, even all these businessmen's places or houses, if you go, they would all write Shubha Labha. Like that, they write with a swastika symbol and all that. They normally have it in all our businesses. Traditional people will have it. Shubha Labha. So Labha means what you want to obtain, whatever. In fact, Lakshmi is the one whom everybody wants to gain. Everybody is after. Correct? So she is the symbol for that. In fact, she is the symbol for all the things which are desirable. There is in the Nirukta Sara, like that one book is there. So Jnanaishwarya Sukha Dhana Dhanya Jayadikam Lakshma Yasyaha Samudrishtam Sa Lakshmi iti Nigadyate. Like this, there is a verses there. So one who is the symbol, okay, of Jnana, Aishwarya, Sukha, Dhana, Dhanya, Jaya. Correct? One who is the symbol of knowledge, overlordship. Then Dhanam, money, wealth, grains, Dhanya, Jaya, victory. All these things. One who is the symbol of all that. That is why she is called Lakshmi. Okay. So that is one meaning. There are other ways also you can derive it from Lash Dhatu, Kship Dhatu and all that. Lakshmi itself, Lakshmi, the word, can be derived from many different ways. You can actually derive this word Lakshmi. But the one who is to be obtained, gained, and one who is a symbol. Also, Lakshmi is the one who is there in Bhagavan. Also, she is a mark of all this wealth, because when we look upon Narayana or Vishnu, Vishnu is always the one who is having all this alankara and wearing all this different abharana. Shriyah Pati and all that we say, correct? Or Lakshmi Pati. So the one who is adorning all this Lakshmi means he is the chinna of wealth even in Bhagavan. Bhagavan Shakti. That way also she is a mark or a symbol. That's why Lakshmi. And He Jata Vedaha Ma Avaha. So this is the Lakshmi whom you invite for me. Okay. Why do we invite Lakshmi? Without any reason we won't invite anybody, correct? So that is coming in the next rik here. Tam Ma'avaha Jata Vedo Lakshmi Manapagamini Yasyam Hiranyam Vindeyam Gamashvam Purushanaham. Again, Tam Ma'avaha, Tam Lakshmi Ma'avaha, He Jata Vedaha. Again, Jata Veda is there. So, Jata Vedaha, one who is the source of all knowledge. In fact, there is a Brahma Sutra also is there, Shastra Yonitvat. So the source of all knowledge, who is Bhagavan only. But here again, we look upon Agni as the representative of that Bhagavan. And to that Agni, Bhagavan, we say, hey, Tam Lakshmi Mavaha, please invite that Lakshmi. And what type of Lakshmi? Anapagamini, one who does not leave. Okay. Anapayini, Anapagamini, Apagamana Rahitam, you can say, one who does not leave me, one who does not go away from me. Or Anapagamini can also mean one who does not leave Bhagavan. Wherever she goes, she brings Hari with her, Bhagavan with her. She is always with Bhagavan. One who never leaves Bhagavan. That way, one who should not leave you also. When she comes to you, Lakshmi should not leave me. Lakshmi should be there with me. And we also see Indian parents, they also not only they earn for themselves, more than themselves, they want to leave it for their children also. So Lakshmi should come. Lakshmi should be there with me. Lakshmi should be there with my children also and grandchildren and all that. That's how we want it. Okay. So here, another way to look at it is Vishnoho Anapayinim. Also we can take the one who does not leave Vishnu, always with Hari or Vishnu. So even when Rama came, then she came as Sita. When Krishna was there, means she came as Rukmini. And even in all other avatars, Bhagavat Avatara also, she is there with Vishnu only. Like this, there is a verses there. So that Lakshmi, may you invite again on my behalf for me. Okay, why should you invite her? Why should you invite her? Because Yasyam Satyam. This is Sati Saptami. So, when she is there, that is the meaning. Okay. What happens? Aham Vindeyam. Okay, so I gain. Aham Vindeyam. What do I gain? So, gain, Vindeyam means Prapnuyam. You can take meaning. So, I gain, I obtain. What all I obtain? Hiranyam, Gam, Ashvam, Purushan. All these things. Hiranyam, Gam, Ashvam, Purushan. All these things I gain if she is there. Or our Sayanacharya, Yasyam, he takes it a little bit ritualistically. He says, Yasyam Shri Devyam Ahutayam Satyam, he says. Or just we can say Yasyam Shri Devyam Satyam also, when the Shri Devi is with you. But Sayanacharya says, Shri Devyam Ahutayam Satyam means when her Ahuti is there, that means you are doing all the Shri Sukta. Homa also you can do, correct? With the Shri Sukta, we can do Japa and we can do Homa. Also the Vinyoga is there. Means when we do Homa, after each rig we add a Swaha also. So, Avaha Swaha, like that, you then offer the Ahuti. So when you are offering the Ahuti like this, then what is the phala for that? What do you gain? Means Hiranyam, Gam, Ashvam, Purushan, Aham Vindeyam. So I gain or I obtain all these things. Hiranyam means general wealth, you can say. I told you, correct? All this, including gold and different ratnas and diamonds, and everything is wealth only. All these are all Hiranyam. Then Gam, again, Pashu is another form of wealth. In fact, for a Vaidika, Pashu is the main form of wealth. Even in Tamil also, Anirai and all we say. A, the word A means wealth. A means Pashu only in Tamil. So this cattle is looked upon as wealth because only with all the cattle products we can do yajna. So why do we need all this wealth? Understand that wealth is not for the sake of wealth itself. Of course, wealth can be used for kama to fulfill your desires. Wealth can be used. Wealth is artha. Artha itself can be used to fulfill kama. That is what nowadays most people are doing. Correct? But how do we look at it? Traditionally, wealth or artha is for dharma, for expending in dharma karya. To do dharma also you require artha, correct? If you are a daridra, you are in poverty, what dharma you can do? Of course, even whoever is there in poverty or in daridriyam also can do tapas. Tapas is the only thing anybody can do. In fact, it becomes a forced tapas. You are a daridra means, okay, I will also do Shashti Vratam, Ekadashi Vratam. You don't have food only. Better do Vrata. Of course, forced non-eating is not really a Vrata or Upavasa. But at least that person can do that. Tapas can be done. Japam also somebody can do. Even if you are poor, you can sit in one corner and do japa. You can do 1008, Gayatri, any other mantra japa. So tapas you can do, but other forms of dharma, you require artha. If you want to do a yajna, if you want to do annadanam, if you want to do purta karma, if you want to dig a well or a pond for the welfare of the village, you want to do other things, you want to build a annachatra and provide food for all the people. Like this, see, ishta purtam. For us, dharma is both. Ishti means all the yajna you do. Correct? That is called ishti. Ishta purtam means dharma karya means both yajnam and purta karma means all the, you can say now, social work nowadays. Don't think that we do not have social work. Purta karma means there is a huge list is given. Whatever you do for temples, because temples were all again centers of knowledge, and they were centers for so many things, where the whole community benefited from the temple. Correct? Temples were even used as granaries. Temples were used as a safe place during some calamities. So temples were used for many purposes in our society, are used even today. Correct? So whatever you do for the upkeep of a temple, or you build an annachatra, or you dig a well, common well for the village, Vapi Kupa Tatakadi, like that, there is a verses there which talks about all this Purta Karma. So you build a well, or you build a pond, or you build a bigger lake or a tank, temple tank and all that, because every year in those days all the people have to assemble and they have to clean all these water bodies. That was looked upon as a very important work, because without proper water body in your village, you cannot do any agriculture, you cannot do anything. So the water bodies were looked upon with lot of care, and all the people in the village have to take part in these works. So if you do any nirmana of all these things, that is also dharma karya, but for that you require money. So to do dharma, artha can become an immediate cause. Okay. Of course, to fulfill your kama also it can become. As a grihastha, fulfilling your kama is not looked down upon or anything, but it cannot be the only reason for your artha. You have to also do dharma. In fact, mainly artha is for dharma. Okay, some artha can be used to fulfill your kama also, that is okay, but mainly it is for dharma, whether it is ishta or purtam. For dharma karya only your artha. And again, when you do dharma karya, depending on your attitude, okay, whether you are doing for punya, you can do a yajna to get punya and go to swarga. You can also do all this purta karma also, because then you are gaining both punya and also some fame and all that comes, correct? Everybody is praising you that you are doing all this social work. That is also, you can do social work for that purpose. But if you are a karma yogi, if with yoga buddhi you do all this dharma karya, use your artha and do the dharma karya with yoga buddhi, then this artha also becomes moksha karana. It is also a means for moksha, parama purushartha. So here, this Hiranyam and Gam and Ashwam means what here? All this horses means any means of transport. In those days, the means of transport mainly was Ashwa. So now you have nice car and all that is all only Ashwa only. Okay. And Purushan means all the different people. Without people, how are you going to enjoy? Even whatever happiness you have, it multiplies if you are with your people, correct? Your relatives, your friends. And here Purushan also can mean even servants, Brityaha, those who serve you and those with whom you enjoy yourself. All these people are also required. Without people, how are you going to enjoy? Even Arjuna says, without all these people, I don't even want to go to Swarga. Correct? That was his lament in Bhagavad Gita. So you can have everything, but if you do not have people with you to enjoy whatever it is there with you, it is not the same. So if Lakshmi Devi is there, I gain all these things. Correct? Hiranyam, Gam, Ashwam, Purushan, everything is there with me. It will be there with me. If she does not leave me, all these things will always be there with me. So that is why we ask this Jataveda Agni to invite this Lakshmi on our behalf. So the next Rik and all we'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद स्वामी जी.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी.